Super Mario Land was released in 1989 as a launch title for Nintendo's Game Boy. It hosted 12 levels with the objective of saving Princess Daisy from the alien Tatanga in Sarasa Land. I find it to be an odd release in some aspects. The land of Sarasa is unorthodox in its theming, jumping from deserts to bamboo forests with little cohesion. The designs of the bosses and standard enemies are peculiar. They both are more in line with Super Mario USA's lineup than something like Super Mario Bros. 3 or even Super Mario World. The levels feel more spacious and, albeit infrequently, evoke this sense of cheapness to me. Like when you enter a secret room and there's just a wall of coins with no spacing like you would find in a Mario Maker level. And most strange of all, the invincibility theme is the can-can? That isn't to say different is bad, as I find Super Mario Land to be on par, if not a little better, than the original Super Mario Bros. However, lest we forget that this was the first Mario platformer on a handheld, so it was bound to age poorly in some areas, such as the controls and graphics. Although, it is generally agreed upon, the best aspect of the game is the way it sounds. Most of the time. Of course, I'm referring to the music. It's full of that iconic Mario spunk and hummable goodness, although it caught the keen ears of rising DJ Simon Harris and his colleague Einstein. Thus, the two released a remix of the main theme of the game, which led to the Mario music you have never listened to.
Let's look at the funk.
Harris started out as a mobile DJ in Essex in 1977, quickly becoming known for his mixing skills. In 1979, he acquired the role of being a DJ for Hospital Radio and frequently promoted events featuring Capital Radio, now Capital London, DJs. It was at one of these events Harris met Froggy, a fellow DJ who specialised in beat mixing, and as with his new partner, Harris started to see some success, with the duo attaining a top 10 hit in the UK with a remix of You To Me Are Everything. However, this wouldn't be the last time Harris would reach the top 10 charts, as after his friend showed him a Game Boy with Super Mario Land, he became fond of the game's themes, so much so he felt inclined to make a remix. Harris linked the game's music tempo with that of house music, so he was able to easily incorporate those elements into the final song. In addition, Harris recruited a former partner, the British rapper Einstein, or Colin Case, to provide vocals for the track. Now, given Nintendo's track record of fan efforts in the modern day, you may rightfully assume that this project was wiped off the face of the planet, or was released but Nintendo caught wind of it and subsequently sued Harris and Einstein. And that is why you have never listened to it. But, to everyone's surprise, when Harris contacted Nintendo to clear the music samples, they not only liked what the artist had done, but also requested additional songs to be remixed for a complete album. It gets more shocking because the man who made Mario, Shigeru Miyamoto, personally okayed the album to be made. The single Super Mario Land was released in the UK in October of 1992 under Harris's and Case's monikers Ambassadors of Funk and MC Mario respectively. Nintendo UK swiftly promoted the release of the single and even provided an actor to play the plucky plumber in a comically oversized costume for the accompanying music video. While Nintendo UK loved this idea, Nintendo of America wasn't fully convinced, hence the zero presence the song had in the States. On the other hand, the song was a massive success in the UK, hitting and peaking the number 8 spot on the top 10 singles charts for the UK in November 1992. The Miyamoto-blessed album Super Mario Compact Disco was released in August 1993 exclusively in Japan. The album comprises of tracks from Super Mario Bros., Super Mario USA, Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario Land, Super Mario World, and Super Mario Kart. Of course being remixed to match Harris's house music desire. The album had mixed success in Japan, which is likely why it was never released in the West, thus adding to its nicheness. As for the quality of the songs themselves, I find it to be fairly average and nothing too remarkable. Music is obviously subjective and house just isn't my kind of thing, but I did enjoy a couple of songs such as Super Mario USA and Super Mario Kart. The songs have tidbits of Mario lore as well, such as Super Mario Bros. Theme being one of the early official instances in which Mario and Luigi are referred to as plumbers from Brooklyn. Given the flop of the 90s Mario movie, Nintendo reeled in their properties and became very particular and protective about what could be made featuring their characters. So it would be safe to assume that Mario's Compact Disco never saw the light of day again and was left to be forgotten in the land of the rising sun. Obviously, the album was ripped and put on YouTube, but it was also officially released on iTunes in 2016 and later on Spotify. So the next time someone demands Nintendo to put their songs on Spotify, you can point them towards inevitable disappointment. Harrison Einstein even came back for Mario's 35th anniversary and re-released the album with remastered tracks and 5 bonus tracks. This is possibly the most niche Mario thing I've ever happened to encounter, next to the strange Japanese-only Super Mario World anime. I found this information while reading a magazine from the UK-based retrogamer, so it's a credit to them that I was even able to make this video. Information online is obviously scarce, given the product itself is exactly that, and I'm no internet detective willing to pour dozens of hours into finding new information about this CD, so I'll leave that to someone else. If you're a collector and are interested in acquiring this album physically, then copies on eBay will cost you a pretty penny. All in all, it can be pretty easy to overlook Supermarioland when talking about classic Mario. It succeeded Super Mario Bros. 3 and preceded Super Mario World. It got sandwiched between 2 all-time greats, and even its sequels are more fondly remembered, but I recommend going back and playing it. It isn't anything special, but it wasn't trying to be. It provided a more than competent Mario experience for handheld consoles, and it's simply fun. If you don't have fun playing a Mario game, then it has failed at what the series set out to do. The stigma of it being an incredibly early Game Boy game may put many off, but don't let it. Boot up Supermarioland, get sunk in, and maybe even let the ambassadors of funk do some of the talking.